Hey everyone, welcome back to From Clicks to Cash. Today's episode is for photographers who are tired of kind of hoping that clients will magically find them. And here are the three most important things you'll learn from Yaneck Wasiek today, the man behind Vasho Faces, because he's here to drop some serious gold. First, we'll talk about landing pages formula that actually converts. Yaneck breaks down exactly why homepages kill conversations and how his 50% discount pop-up above the fold captures leads before they even scroll. Second, Google Ads that actually work. So this is from keyword selection to conversion tracking. Yaneck shows why click-through rate matters more than impressions and how to make Google optimize your budget automatically. And then third and last, the 14-month system. It's the email automation, the 3-minute call rules. There's pipeline tracking. We also discuss Labs framework that turns strangers into clients even a year later. Yaneck moved from Poland to Chicago at 20 with no English. Then he moved from Chicago to California with no connections. He went door to door through sangria headshot parties and built a business that generates over 100 Google reviews per year, all with a system, not hustle. Well, maybe a little bit of both. Business first, camera second. Ladies and gentlemen, Yaneck Wasiek. All right. And we are quote unquote live. Hi, Yaneck.
Hello, Roger. How are you?
I'm doing well. It's Friday after all. Although I'm not sure if people that run businesses are happy about celebrating Friday, really, because some of them work Saturdays and Sundays. Is that true for you too?
No, I mean, for me, Fridays is always time to spend in my home office. I don't usually book sessions on Friday. So I photograph Monday to Thursday, and then Fridays catching up on everything, like emails, some maybe extra editing. So I'm excited about Fridays and weekends.
Good. Good balance. Although I think in one of your recordings in the back there on the shelf, I see Hormozy's book. Maybe it's an offers book or leads, $100 million leads.
Well, since you mentioned it, it's always on my desk. Let me show you what we have here. Pricing models. Oh, here.
Yeah.
So this is the leads here. Leads.
Yeah.
And then I have his notes from his workshop, so it's always there handy.
Okay.
And playbook on the pricing. So yeah, so it's very handy on my desk. We're always there. So
hey, so I think we can finish the interview here because that's really where the magic is, right?
I learn a lot from Alex. Yeah, that's definitely.
Yeah. Like let's start at the beginning. And I think the first thing that I wanted to ask you, I remember first time when I stumbled on one of your clips from the interview or something. I said and then I spoke to maybe 2 or 3 other photographers, and part of it was the interviews that I did previously. And I think a lot of people are confused. Is it Yanek Vasho or is it Wasiek? I think your LinkedIn says Wasiek. I think it's linked to Yasho and then Vasho. So what you have to explain? What's going on here?
Yeah. So well, you being Polish, or that Yanek, the way it's spelled, it's not really the original spelling. So first of all, so my official first name is Jan, but it's spelled Jan, and a lot of people over the years thought that I was a woman before meeting me, so because it was Jan. So then I'm like, okay, I'm so tired of it. The funny story is that many years ago, I subscribed to Forbes magazine. I received my first issue normally, and then the next issue, it was Forbes for women. They changed my subscription from Forbes to for women, and so that was kind of like a tipping point for me. It's like, okay, I need to do something about it. So that's when I decided I'm gonna change the spelling of my name. So it's gonna be Yanek. It was inspired by a name, one of the guys from Daft Punk. His name is, I think, Yannick, and so I was like, you know what, he's Yannick, I'm Yanek, so I'm just gonna spell, change the letter, and then I'm gonna be Yanek. So that's it. And then I don't know what was the driving force behind it, but from the early years,
Mhm.
oh, I know what it is. So my dad has um, his first name is Krzysztof, which is Christopher, but it starts with K, and then Vasek. Our last name is Vasek. So he created his nickname as Kwas, which is means acid, in Polish. So he was trying to do he was doing I remember he was doing all the different logos, for Kwas, and all the kind of graphic designs. So as a kid, I was like, I want to have my own nickname too. So so that's I created Vasho, as my nickname.
Yeah,
And it's like, as a kid, it's like if I ever have a business, I'm gonna be always Vasho, is gonna be my business name. So from the early, I think maybe when I was 9 or 10 years old, I already knew that if I ever own a business, it's gonna be Vasho.
I love it. I love
So
it.
I was creating my logos from the very, like as a teenager, I was already creating the different various, versions of my logo, to see, what will look, good. And so, kind of Vasho is almost like my nickname. People know me as Vasho. People think that my last name is Vasho, but it's not.
Yes,
So,
yeah, yeah.
my
All right.
my last name is Vasek. And
Okay.
the way it was created, obviously, I took the first letter of my last name, which is W, and then Yasho is the very super casual form of Jan in Polish. So basically, it's how I created, the W with Yasho, and just replace it and became Vasho. So.
Got it. Got it. All right. So since we now know who you are, I wanted to, I think, congratulate you first. So I'll sugarcoat a little bit at the beginning, but I got to tell you, I was on a walk this morning, and I was thinking about this interview. And the thing is, first of all, congratulations on living in very intentional life. Because from your interviews, I just kind of I think I heard one when you guys moved because of the snow and maybe not the right environment from Chicago to California.
Mhm.
I know you're very intentional about the business because this is not a coincidence. What's happening in your case, and I'm kind of jealous on the location where you're calling from right now. We love visiting California. I actually have a picture here. We'll see if you pass the quiz here. I'm gonna flash something on the screen. I don't know if you recognize this place.
Looks familiar. Is it in Laguna or no?
Yanek, you're 100% correct.
Okay, good.
Um, yeah, he's that good, by the way. Yeah. So it is Laguna. I got to tell you a quick story. When I came here we moved back in 2020 to Florida from Connecticut. It wasn't really the snow. I think we were just ready. It's just you hit the age, or I don't know what it was. Stars aligned. Moved to Florida. I met like a group of folks that were playing around with Amazon, the shipping and selling on Amazon, and
Mhm.
I remember they were discussing right post COVID a quick meeting in Laguna Beach, and I said, hey, I'm flying in. I don't care. I want to see what it is, what the vibe is, and I went to LA, drove to Laguna. I really love Huntington Beach, like that area where you guys are.
Mhm.
And last year I took my two. We have kids probably same age. Mine are 13 and 15.
So
Where
mine,
are your?
mine are younger. Yeah, mine. The oldest one is 8.
Oh, okay. I gotcha.
Yeah.
So I took my girls. We drove from San Diego all the way to San Francisco. So and I would highly recommend. So yeah. So congrats on finding. I guess your spot on this earth. And one thing I have to do a lot of times. I know people. I don't know if you know, or if you don't know, you should speak very highly of you. Um, all the photographers I spoke to, they recognize the name. They understand you. Just recently, 2 weeks ago, I think you were at Imaging USA.
Mhm.
You were talking specifically about Google Ads. Is that correct?
Yeah, I had a half day class about Google Ads. Yes.
So we'll talk about that a little bit. But like you're recognized, and they almost put you in this like sort of a superhero status. So before we get going, I want to make sure that you're a regular human like everybody else. That you don't have any super special powers before we continue.
No, just a nerd, and business person first, I guess, with limited talent in photography.
Very, very cool. But we got to go back. You gotta give us the boring story. You got to tell us kind of how it started. So I know a very long time ago you were dealing with the cameras, the early cameras, Smianas, I believe. So tell us a little bit about. Doesn't have to be a long story, but just tell us what's going on with photography, how it started, first camera, and then kind of fast forward to like what happened maybe here. Because I honestly I don't know if you started shooting back in Poland or when you were here already.
No. So I got my first camera, the Smiana, which is like the old Russian camera. Just to for our photography friends, the shutter speed was not in like 1 over something. The shutter speed was sun, cloudy, rain. That was the shutter speed, and so that's how But it was I started to shoot the film. I got that camera for my first communion, so I was like 8, I think. So that's kind of like the joy and the love of photography happened for me. And so I was photographing all through grammar school or high school. I photographed even more in high school. I was thinking of going to the, I don't know what would be the English name, but like the film academy in Poland, in Łódź.
Yeah.
But I wanted to be a director of photography. Basically that was my dream.
Mhm.
For movies. But I some of my friends actually got admitted to that school. So for people, not non-Polish people, this is a very good film school, like very good. Let me put it this way: I think there are like 200 candidates for one spot in that school.
Wow.
So it's extremely hard to get in. And some of my friends got in, and they were showing me their portfolio that they submitted, when they were admitted, and I'm like, I'm not even remotely close to this. So let's forget about the film academy or film school, and I ended up in business school.
Mhm.
So I started my business school in Poland, and we moved to Chicago for. I mean, my parents were here for like 4 years. So I
Mhm.
finished my undergrad, and then I finished my grad school in business. So I was in business consulting. I worked for Deloitte, Accenture, but I was doing photography all this on the side. I mean, like for pleasure. And then about 20 years ago, I think I got paid for the first time for taking photos. I think we
You were-
started first with some family shoots. Then somebody's like, "Oh, we can find our wedding photographer. Would you like to to photograph our wedding?" So I bought some books about wedding photography because obviously there was no YouTube back then. And I just read, I think, 3 or 4 wedding books, how to photograph. I rent some lenses, and off we go. And I photographed my first wedding, and then so I photographed weddings for a good number of years back in Chicago, and then when we decided to move to California, I decided to move more to headshots, because the the flow of cash, like how fast I was getting paid, was much better with headshots than I was getting with weddings, right? Because with weddings, the cycle is so much longer. People book you like months in advance. They give you some deposit, but it's not constant flow of money. With headshots, I could have people in my studio every day, and then basically, on a monthly cash flow basis, I could do better. I mean, there was basically for me to survive. I had to survive. Because we moved from Chicago to California. Nobody knew us in California. So the doing headshots and portraits was basically a way for me to get the money right away.
Okay. It's interesting how you went very fast through this part of that answer when you said I work for Deloitte and you work for what's the other one? The big
It's Avanade, but it's owned by Accenture. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. For those of you guys that don't know, it's those are pretty prestigious names in the business world, right? What were you doing there?
So I was director of delivery. So basically, I delivered I managed like large projects. So I'll give you an example. Like my last project before I left was for BMW Financial Services. So we were building the leases and loan systems for North and South America. So you can imagine, pretty big project. I mean, I think my team have like 150 or 200 people that I had to manage. So it was stressful. It was not fun. And that was the kind of tipping point for me. It's like, I am done with this. This is too much stress. This, I don't know. It was just no point discussing. But, if you're into consulting, some people thrive in this environment. For me, it was basically too much stress.
Yeah, and totally makes sense. To make I think it's time to make a confession, because I'm still in the corporate world. I'm just on the product side, so it's a little different. But I can totally resonate with what you're saying. Depending on where you are, things can get pretty difficult, and I think that's the realization a lot of people have. If it's like, if I got to push this hard, I may as well leave and push, and build my own world, right? So it totally makes sense. The interesting thing with you is, though, so you land here, you're 20 years old. Even though you did, you have your portfolio of things that you did in Poland. You're starting from scratch, right? Like, you're starting from zero. Zero English, right? Like, you're starting from zero. Then you're moving to California. You're kind of also starting from zero? How do you do that?
So for California, what we did when we decided, because we made the decision to move to California like 6 months before we actually make the move. So Sasha and I, we booked a trip to Southern California, to San Diego, and I think it's still somewhere. This video is available somewhere on YouTube. But Sasha did like a promo video that we offer free sessions in San Diego. And so we flew here for a weekend. So we had 2 days of shooting, and I think we shot like 20 sessions or something like that in 2 days, just to build our California portfolio. So we photograph post-weddings, pre-wedding, engagement, family, teenagers, you name it. I mean, we have 20. It was really, we started at, I think, at 8 a.m. and we were shooting till sunset, for those 2 days, and just to build our portfolio. So then once we were able to move, it's like, because Chicago weddings or whatever you do in Chicago totally doesn't, it's a totally different field than what you photograph in California. So we want to make sure that when we market ourselves, that we have something to show to people that we know how to photograph on the beach. We know how to photograph, in Laguna, whatever the coast is. So that's how we did it. We made the move. We rent this like a loft studio. We lived in it. So it was our bed in one corner, and the rest was our studio. And that's how we did for the first 2 years. And then basically, I mean, from door to door marketing, we actually walk from door to door in our building, in the next, in the whole neighborhood. We made connections, everywhere. And then that's when I started also Google Ads. That's when when I moved from Chicago to California, because I needed to put my my face, my brand in, or my company in front of other people. So Google Ads was just one way to do it.
Yeah, because that was part of. We'll get to that question, but I got to tell you, I mean, kudos to you guys, because. And it's one of those things, that I hear a lot. People say it's simple, but it's not easy. And even what you just described, like going from door to door, and it's just pure hustle, right? Because it's you and Sasha walking, because there's no kids at that time, right?
Yeah. I mean, that was one thing that reason why we moved, because we tried to have kids in Chicago.
Yeah.
But I was traveling Monday to Thursday, so I was home for like 2.5 days. So we tried for like a couple of years to have kids, and then we moved to California, and within 6 months, Sasha was pregnant. So that kind of changed the environment. Served us well as well. But I'll give you an example. So when we moved to our building, we thought, okay, well, what can we do to like meet everybody in the building? Because our building was like a mixed use, so there was businesses and people lived there. Like a lot of like us. Some there was like bigger businesses. Sorry if there's a noise, but my gardeners are coming. Hopefully, it will not be too bad.
No worries.
Good. So we organized a sangria headshot party. So we made like gallons of sangria, and we made flyers, and we went from door to door in the whole building, and we invited everybody to come over, on the Friday to hang out with us and just get new headshots and drink some sangria. And yeah, I mean, we made some that day. I mean, we just made so many connections in our building that that led us to so much more business just from that one event. But it required us to go from door to door, being uncomfortable because you go really to your neighbors and knock on the door, inviting people. So and then you just go from hotel to hotel in the neighborhood as well. So we actually went from hotel to hotel and talked to all the event teams over there, to kind of whether we can do headshots for them. We walked to some high rises, like business high rises, to offering our headshots. So it was a lot of walking. Yes.
And it's I get it, but it's in my head it's all, and it includes myself a lot of times, although I get better with it over time. And this is what I'm trying to preach to my daughters, like, you just have to ask. You're not going to get it if you're not going to ask, right? And it sounds simple. Why do you think people don't do it? Is it because it's scratching like their ego? Is it because, I mean, obviously, is it something that they don't think about? Like, it's that simple that they don't think that this is even a method? Maybe they overcomplicate it.
I think I think in the photography business, there's this kind of bad idea about selling, that we shouldn't be selling. We should, people should ask for us, and if we're good enough, then they're gonna come to us. But it's a business like any other. There's the sales is still a component of it. And then there's another one that's like people are a lot of people's like, oh, don't offer anything, like the educate, don't offer anything for free. You have know your value, or there's this whole trend in photography education to basically charge as much as you can for every session. And I'm not necessarily, I mean, it's good, if it works for you, great, but I don't think it's it's a best way for a lot of photographers. I mean, it's good to charge, not to undercharge, don't be like the really the bottom, but at the same time, not every single photographer has to be a luxury photographer.
That's true. And with this, with those cold reach outs, it's not any different than, like, let's say if you were starting a restaurant and you had food samples and you would go out on the street and just allow people to sample your food, or very often somebody knocks on my door and it's a solar company. They go door to door and they sell. I don't see why photography wouldn't be any different, right? I think it's just that misconception that it's like business is business, right? Getting the
we've heard of a lot of no's. It's like, yeah, we're not interested. We're good. Thank you so much. And but I would say 99% of people were nice to us. I mean, we're not. It's like, hey, we are like photographers in the neighborhood. We want to say hello, and if I can help you with photography, we'll be happy to do it. So.
Yeah. So your mindset, you guys together are doing photography, really. But at that time, you mentioned like the Google thing didn't happen until California. I think that's what you said.
Yeah.
So at which point did you realize we're not really just in photography business, like we're building this whole business machine? And like, how did that happen? Was it, what was the spark, right? Did you hear about it? Were you just reading about it? Did you hear was there another photographer in your environment that was doing it? What happened?
You mean like to focus less on photography and more on business, or
to start building the business machine, like with Google Ads and then the back end with automation?
When we moved to California, that's when we made the decision we're gonna be full-time photographers. Right. So this is how we make our livings. There's we had some extra cash, that we came with, to kind of survive, the first 6 months. But I'm very, financially more cautious, like I like to have my kind of on the side money, to just in case. So we knew that we need to make money. Right. So, we love photography, but, it's really, we can't, there's no like falling back plan. It's like, it's like falling back plan was we go back to Chicago and live with our parents. I think, I don't know, what was that, but we said like we have to make it happen, and so basically we're just we're always like every day we're like sitting and chatting together. It's like, what can we do to actually bring revenue? And that was our priority was more on bringing the cash versus, I don't know, creating something super creative in photography.
No, I gotcha. Yeah. Create the motion. No. The momentum. The Google ads. Why Google ads, not like Facebook ads or something? Why?
Oh, believe me, I try. I tried Yelp. I mean, Yelp. I did Yelp for many years. I did Thumbtack. I did Facebook ads as well. And Thumbtack actually worked for us really well for a good number of years.
Yeah.
Is because we positioned ourselves at pretty low price. So I was like a top professional on Thumbtack for a number of years. So we had a lot of business, but basically, we outgrew they keep changing, like Thumbtack, they keep changing the fees. They got the fees so much higher that it just didn't make sense, to do it anymore. But I tried it. Yelp it's a hit or miss. I mean, it's a love-hate relationship with Yelp. I do not like a lot of things that they do, but at the same time, I got good leads from Yelp as well. And then Facebook was the platform that I had the least success, at least for headshots. Like we ran it for like family mini sessions, etc. So we got it. We did some for dogs, but it's so time consuming in terms of the follow up, because from what I've seen, the quality of the leads from Facebook is so much lower compared to like Google Ads leads.
Interesting.
Because like when you run Facebook ads, you interrupt their whatever they're doing, right? And it's more about creating the desire, or the kind of creating the want that they want something, right?
Right.
When people go to Google or Yelp, they search for specific service, right? So at this point, you don't have to convince them that they need it or they want it. They already know it, and they just search for the right vendor, right?
Yeah.
So when I did rent for Facebook, I have to call so many people, and the conversion, to the ratio for those leads was so low, and it took so much time to just keep following up and calling people. So it's just a numbers game, and I felt like for headshots at least, the Google Ads or Yelp or Thumbtack was a much better platform to run my my marketing.
Yeah, no. Totally makes sense. Very interesting, by the way. And I think you're right, because a lot of, from what I hear, is Facebook ads. It's not really, it's more awareness, bring them to your world, and then warm everybody up, like your potential clients. And that takes forever.
I mean, like if you want portraits, let's say, like I think like for example, dog photography, I may run some Facebook ads because, people don't really search for dog portraits. They want to first see the photos and then kind of get inspired. And then, it's like, oh yeah, I want this for my dog. Or, like woman portraits, right? Like especially like I think campaign like the surprise interest, the 40 over 40 or something like that. That's something that needs to generate the desire first.
Yeah.
The model calls, or like the free promo or whatever, like that's, those are the ads that work, if you do it properly, but it requires a lot of numbers, and those ads really creates the desire first before they are ready to book.
Yeah, you said one very important thing. You said it's the numbers game, and it is the numbers. A lot of people kind of cringe when they hear numbers or analytics, but the thing is, Google ads it really depends on what it is. It's like asking, is living in Huntington Beach good? It's not. Well, that depends. If you like mountains, maybe you get the two worlds there. But it's like, I live in Florida. If you like mountains, Florida is not a good fit for you. Doing headshot photography, And companies that are looking for you, the decision makers that are looking for you are probably more intentional on Google searching for that type of photography. This is, like you said, the dogs, the horses, the whatever. It may be just spare of a moment, somebody's there in the mood, and you kind of steer them the right
And
way.
also, the way that I'm sure you know it, but like the Facebook ads, you don't pay per clicks, you pay per number of times the ad was displayed.
Mm-hmm.
So you can easily spend hundreds, thousands of dollars and have, theoretically, I'm sure you have some of these, but theoretically, you can spend thousands of dollars and not have even one visitor to your page or to whatever, to your form. While in like Google Ads, Yelp, and Thumbtack, all the other platforms, a lot of other platforms, you pay for the click, right?
Yeah.
So when like on search, on Google search, people, you pay when the person clicks on your ad and goes to your landing page. That's when you pay for. So it's up to you then how well you take care of the click. But at least you have already a visitor.
Yeah. Impressions are not doing a job. They click, they land on your page, and then the next responsibility, we open the next door. We'll talk about this a little bit more when we get to landing pages. But I wanted to ask, so when things are, and I ask everybody, just because I want to the audience to get closer to you as a person. So when things are good, things are good. When business is working and bringing money, fantastic. Have you had any failures? Like, did something not work? Did something scare you? I mean, you guys shifted entirely, so I know there's a lot of scary moments. Anything you can share that traumatized you a little bit?
I mean, like when I started to run Google Ads at the beginning, believe me, I mean, it was not working smoothly. I mean, I was wasting money. I mean, with the same with SEO. Because when we moved, I put equal effort on Google Ads and SEO. But I've been trying to do SEO for many years. To the times that it was okay to just put text on a like a title on your page, and you would just rank right away. Like when keyword stuffing on me, keyword stuffing, that basically means as to put as many times the keyword that you want to target on your page as possible. So I've been through that. Like I'll give you a good example. This was back on my, I think one of my first wedding website. That it was like a picture, whatever, the Chicago wedding photographer, and then I have a hidden text. So there was a text, but it was hidden, and I thought like, hey, the source of the HTML still has the text, but it's not displayed on the screen. So I fooled Google for quite a while because I had like some keyword stuffing in that page like crazy, but it was not visible to the user. Obviously it worked for for a while, and then Google caught out. It's like, because they got smarter. They did, because Google switched from just reading the source code or the source code of your page to actually scanning the display of the page. So actually penalized me at some point because I had a hidden text on the page. So so first it worked well, but then it kind of got penalized. So SEO is I've been doing SEO for what, I don't know, 18 years or 18 or 19 years that I've been like focusing on SEO. So, and SEO, it's an ongoing game. You continuously learn about it.
So I've heard voices recently about SEO maybe not performing as it used to, as everything else, I think, but not performing as it used to because of it's not SEO, it's AIO or whatever they call it, AEO. Do you notice that? Like, do you feel you're impacted by AI on the Google Ads side? Is it just affecting SEO?
You know what? In a certain way, if you were creating like articles or blog posts, trying to do the answer questions that people may have. So yes, that's that may affect, because but people still, one of my top 2 pages on my website is the headshot guide for men and headshot guide for women. And it's actually, I still have, I think, like 1,500 visitors a month, for each page. So I still have a lot of visitors, from for those pages. But obviously, if somebody's looking like headshot, I don't know, let's say wedding photographer in Orange County, headshot, the AI will not answer this. right? You're looking for specific people, not, if you have a question, it's like, what makes a good wedding photographer? Then AI will answer it to you for you. And so there's no really, it's less of a point making, the article about it. I think it's still worth it because it builds your credibility that AI later on may, suggest you in your in the answers. I actually got a good number of clients that found me on ChatGPT. So basically they will ask who's the best headshot photographer in Orange County, and I will become like at the top recommendation. That's one way to to do it. I don't think SEO is dead. I don't think it will be dead for quite a while. It changes, yeah. I mean, the Google ads will change eventually as well, because we can talk about it more. But the right now Google AI is free, but I'm pretty sure they're going to start putting ads in the AI results as well.
Yeah.
So, but the spots will be very limited because they're not going to put like 3 or 6 results. They're going to put only 1. So those placements will become much more expensive. But at the same time, will be less competition in that spot.
Yeah. It makes sense. Typically at this point we switch over and we showcase photographers' photography. I wanted to combine both because I don't want to lose the momentum with the conversation about landing pages and Google ads and just being intentional, more tactical about what photographers can do, because that's really the value. That's where the value is. So I'll bring up your website, and this way we're looking both at your work, and then we can discuss some tactics. So first thing, and this is I heard you mention that in one of your interviews already. The difference between homepage and landing page. People are familiar with the website, and they refer to that by homepage, I guess. What is the difference?
So, the main thing you'll see here, even on the top, there's a menu, right? So there's home services, prices, reviews, contact blog information. If you go under information, there's a lot of other links there. And then there's scheduled sessions. So there's a lot of options already on the top of the page, right? So when you visit it, you're gonna get the homepage is more about people finding out more about you, so that they want more information, etc. So they're gonna navigate through pages, find out here and there. Landing page, usually has only one call to action that you want people, to take. There's maybe 2. There's a primary and the secondary call to action, so that's fine, but it shouldn't be more than that. So you can see here that there's a menu, but there's also the 3 primary buttons, or 4, because there's schedule session, but it's kind of like the same as headshot for you. So there's 3 really ways that I want even people to kind of navigate them through here. Right. So that was kind of intentional to have those buttons right on the top of the page.
So when you're running ads, in the ad, you put a link to a page. Instead of them landing in the world of everything that Yanek does, they land specifically on the page. Pretty much answers the pain point, right? It answers the questions around the thing that they need or want.
Yeah, exactly. Landing page is it's for one very specific service. So I have a landing page for individual headshots. I have a landing page for team headshots. I have a landing page for headshot booth. I have a landing page for headshot booth in Las Vegas. So that or like the realtor. So for realtors, headshots, because those are one of the main clients. So the landing pages is one for a specific item, and that's what you want to sell. So don't I think the big mistake that people make is that when they run Google ads, the ads take them to the homepage. And then people get distracted, and you paid for you paid for the click with Google ads, right? If it's organic, you didn't pay for the click. So that you want people to to kind of find you and see what you are, and then and decide whether they want to contact you or not. I mean, you want still to optimize your pages on your home site, on your website, for people to take the step. But you still want to them to explore because you don't know how they ended up on your website.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Mm-hmm. But
and
just one more thing, so actually, but
yeah.
on the landing page,
Uh-huh.
you know exactly how they ended up on that page, right? So you know what they're looking for, right? If they end up here on my homepage, I don't know whether they're looking for headshot booth or if they look for to come to my studio to have a headshot session, right? So that's why I give them the options here. Once they land once they land on my landing page, I know that they were searching for for individual headshot.
And we'll go one level deeper. I think if I refresh your page,
Mm-hmm.
let's see if it comes up. I know that you are, there you go. So this is what users see when they land on your page, and this is intentional. A lot of people would think, oh, maybe it's a distraction or something, but like this is very intentional action. You paid for you pay for them clicking. Now they land here and they automatically see this. So you almost give them a reason to like take action, right? You're incentivize
Yeah,
them.
so this is what I'm saying. Like, when they arrive to my homepage organically, right? I give them a reason to contact me, right? I don't give them I don't say just click the contact form or just find out more or whatever, because that's not. I don't think it's not enough incentive for people to send them the information. But if I give you 50% off on a headshot session, that's a good number. That people would like. Okay, yeah, I want to sign up for this.
Yes.
And I try different numbers. I try from like 10%, 20, 30, 40, up to like 75% off. And the 50%, kind of give me the most results. I mean, maybe like, I don't know. I'm gonna try again 40%. And we'll see if it's gonna drop a lot. But the kind of 50%, I've been running this for quite a while. Yeah.
And I'm going to go one level deeper. So when they fill it out, is there a way for you to track this client, to like label them, assign a tag to them, to say they came really from this specific landing page?
Oh, absolutely. Well, this is not a landing page. This is a home page. Yeah. So yeah, absolutely. I have I tag every lead that I receive in our system as either the lead from the pop up on the website, or as a depending on which landing page they came through. I have all categorized, so I know exactly where they came from. I even know for Google ads. When they fill out the form in my CRM, in my Vasho digital CRM, I know exactly what keyword they search. So I know this, so I know exactly what they search for.
Wow. Yeah. And this just kind of arms you. It gives you better tools when you're reaching out to them, and then you kind of curate the relationship, or answer questions, or reach out to them on the phone. I don't know how you do it. We can talk about it later. But you're then equipped with that knowledge, so it's easier to approach, to answer a specific.
Yeah, like I have, like, for example, the link on my Instagram profile. It's also pointing to a landing page. So I already tag when they come from Instagram or LinkedIn. I know exactly which profile they came from. So I tag them, or I actually, when I send emails, not all of them, because some of the email campaigns, I actually track all the clicks. So I tag people what they clicked on my emails. So I know, what was their behavior, and I actually assign points to how engaged a person is with my email, so that I know which ones I have like the most active ones and which ones are less active.
When I land on this page, so the call to action is very clear. It's very vivid. You use the orange, I'm guessing. So it stands out on the page. Not only that, your avatar, I guess, potential, the ideal client is already there, because it's either a woman headshot, a guy's headshot, right, or a team's headshot. That's I believe it's potential, and not only that, you have it above the fold, which is the first part of your page. So when it loads, this is the first thing they see.
Yeah. So the above the fold, you obviously want to have, who you are, right? There's some kind of social proof, right? So like we are rated number 1 on Google and Yelp. And then, obviously we're photographers, so you need to have some photos, to kind of show what you are. And then some kind of catchy, like if you're serious about getting the best headshots, that's basically kind of like, okay, if you're not serious, we're probably not about you, for you, because we're not the cheapest one. We're not the most expensive one, but we're not the cheapest one, right? So, you definitely want to have this kind of classification or like filtering, who we're targeting here.
Get it. The other thing is, I was scrolling through your website and I see all the headshots. Looks like you had some branding headshots you shoot in the field, and I had a problem finding your photo. A lot of photographers make this mistake of they talk about their equipment, they show off their studio, they talk about their accolades. You have all of this, and none of that is on your website. I think I saw one photo of you, and the rest is
there's a photo of me and Sasha, I think, in the bottom of the page here. Yeah, if you go like really all the way down, even down, even more. Here what I am. Yep.
Yeah,
that's it. That's where I am. Yes.
The rest of the page focuses really on answering any question in relation to headshots.
Yeah, the social proof is very important, right? The reviews, and then also everything that we offer is basically the homepage is kind of like a hub to show everything that we do, and why we would be the best people for what you need, right? Yeah. Because I think and the homepage you can do a little bit more that explaining why it's worth to get a headshots, etc. I think also I found on people doing on the landing pages the mistake that, let's say that you add, this is because I do it a lot, but like let's say somebody's looking for a headshot and you have a headshot landing page, and on the landing page people try to convince you that it's good to have a headshot. And so when I work with photographers, this is one thing that I ask them to change. Is like, you don't need to convince them that it's good to take a headshot, to have a headshot. You need to convince them that you are the right choice, because when they landed here, they already know that they want a headshot. They like looking like who's the best headshot photographer for them now. So it's they discard everything about the explanation what a headshot is, why it's good to have a headshot, and everything else. You need to focus on why you are the person to do it for them.
Yeah, I think we're talking about I'm talking about the upside down triangle when they talk about somebody is problem aware or solution aware, or so. Like when they land on your website, they're already at the bottom of the triangle, at the very peak. Like they know they need why. It's just like, are you the right guy to do it with, right?
Usually when they do all that, when they end up on the landing page, that's why when we run the Google ads, you need to target the keyword that's called the transactional keywords versus informative keywords. Like for example, how to take a headshot. You don't want to put your ad on that keyword, because people searching is either photographers or somebody maybe like want to do a headshot themselves, DIY. So you want more the transactional, like best headshot photographers in, let's say, Florida, or whatever, but those are the more transactional keywords that you want to target with your ads.
Yeah. You have that form. So for anybody that misses the form, let's say, or they decide not to take advantage of the 50% off for the headshot thing, they scroll through your website. Tell us about, because not a lot of people are aware of like lead magnets. What are lead magnets? Because I see a lot of information here that I can download or read. What are lead magnets and why do you use them?
So lead magnets, a lot of people just thought it's like, I'm going to throw some kind of PDF or whatever checklist, and people would just die for to get it for free, and then this way I'm going to get their information. I think this has been so overdone that you have to really for lead magnet. I mean, the goal of a lead magnet is, I'm going to give you something for free in exchange for your information. That's basically what it means. What's a lead magnet? And you have I think nowadays we need to provide a lot more for people to be willing to give their information. Going back to Alex Hormozi, I think one thing that he said very well is that for lead magnet you have to offer something for free that other people are charging for. That's what makes that's what makes already a much better lead magnet, so that you actually, the perceived value is so much higher. So you have to give them a lot at the beginning before you ask for money. So let's say you are a wedding photographer. A lead magnet, may not, like a very extensive checklist, how to prepare everything, maybe a good lead magnet, but there's a lot of it. So you have to think about anything else that will provide value to the couples looking for the planning the wedding or photographer. So you have to think about I haven't photographed wedding for so long, but then I would say some kind of document or checklist that give them plan by month or by week what they should be doing. That would be a very good lead magnet, because that's a much more detailed and not generic thing. There's something they can use right away, so there's a good value to it. I think for headshot photographers, what I'm thinking, I don't have a lead magnet right now beside the offer, but I'm thinking of getting kind of extra value by designing the LinkedIn headers for people.
Okay.
So because a lot of people just put the headshot in the LinkedIn profile, but the header, like the one that's like the banner on top, kind of stays it's pretty bad usually.
Yeah.
So that I'm thinking of maybe extra value to the headshots. Like, hey, if you sign up, when you get your headshots, I'll also give you a banner design for your profile.
Yeah. No, totally makes sense. Let's switch gears a little bit and talk about the traffic again. So enough about landing page. Other than Google ads, are you relying on any other sources of traffic? Like, are you okay with Facebook, Instagram? Are you just doing it because everybody should be on Instagram or Facebook, or
well, Martin, maybe before we even go, because you went to my homepage.
Yeah.
Let's check out my landing page. Okay. So if you can just type in, so it's pages.vashofaces.com/headshots.
Headshots. There you
go. So it's pages dot.
My fault.
So no www, just pages.vashofaces.
Pages.vashofaces.
And then // headshots.
Let's see.
pages.vashofaces.com and then /headshots. So just add .com after Vashofaces.
There you go.
Okay, here it is. Okay, so this is my landing page. So you can see that. So you can close it, but you can see there's no menu. There's only one call to action here that gets my 50% off coupon code. And basically the whole thing, if you scroll down, it's all about just the individual headshot session. So there's nothing else there's no here about headshot booth, actor headshots, portraits, or anything like that. It's all about, just basically headshot. That's all they can do is just to apply for the 50% off special.
And this is, if you had to, a percentage of traffic that you normally typically drive. Traffic that goes to your main page, your website, this is landing pages. Would you say most of it goes to landing pages? Is some of percentage of it goes to the main website?
No, my SEO is pretty good, so I get a lot of traffic on my website.
Yeah.
So I would say 50% of the leads that I get for individual headshots are from organic, and then the other 50% are from the ads. I get some from LinkedIn is, I think, the third source. Instagram is, people reach out to me as well, but mainly Google Ads and organic are the main sources of the leads for individual sessions.
Yeah. And it's a pretty extensive landing page. It's not like one of those short ones. And call to action, it's the same call to action, I'm assuming.
The same, the whole thing is the same one, yes.
And then you have some FAQs. You're trying to answer the questions that people potentially may have.
Yeah.
social proof, companies.
Yeah, that's it.
Get it. All right, cool. So going back to the other question about
Mm-hmm.
other sources of traffic, is it more like a nice to have for you, or do you actually benefit from, I don't know, Facebook or TikTok or Instagram?
Uh, the third one would be LinkedIn. So that's, for me, that's the main one. So the presence, so I add, everybody that even the lead that I receive, I actually add them on LinkedIn. Even before, we photograph them, I add them. It's like, hey, I saw that you signed up for the special. It would be great to be connected here. And then I can't on LinkedIn right now. Commenting is even more important than posting.
Mm-hmm.
So I try to stay active there and have a conversation with people. And yeah, so that's because there's a lot of business people obviously there. So for headshots, it makes sense. If you're a wedding photographer, probably LinkedIn is not the best place to, for you to spend your time on. It's more like Instagram, but or if you're a dog photographer, Instagram probably would be the best place to be active there. So that all depends on the genre of photography that you do.
Makes sense. In terms of like the stats, and I'm thinking of a guy's name. I think it's Daniel Priestley. Have you heard the name before, Daniel Priestley? He's a business guy from Great Britain, and
Mhm.
always talks about this concept of laps, which is leads, appointments, presentation, sales, right? So he goes through the whole cycle of like it comes through the ad, then they land on your page, then and you're tracking those numbers, those values, right? Because you're trying to resolve the problem. First of all, are you attracting clients? Are they lending? Are they not converting? Are they showing up? And then if you look at that process, zoom out enough, you can then kind of try to fix whatever is not working at any given moment. What
Mhm.
is it like you're tracking? What like what wakes you up in the middle of the night? Like I got to make sure that number goes up. Or I understand by now it's probably a well-tuned machine, but like somebody that's starting, what should they focus on? Impressions, conversions, clicks.
Yeah. So, I mean, impressions is important because if you don't have impressions, there's, if you're losing on the impression on Google, we're talking about Google Ads, right? So
Yeah, yeah.
if you don't have enough impressions, that means that your ads are not being displayed, right? So that's one number to pay attention. But the impressions or the impression percentage, they may vary depending on the type of keyword matching you're going to use in your ads. So if you use like broad matching for your keywords, your percentage of impression share may go down because because you kind of put yourself in a lot more keywords that you're eligible for, but you're being shown for a smaller percentage because Google decides that maybe this is the better fit for you. So impression share, I mean, it's good to have the impressions, but I don't think it should be the primary focus for Google Ads. I mean, I've come, I think, to a few people that reach out to me that basically didn't have any impressions. Like something was off with their ads, where but Google was not taking any money from them. It's basically it
Oh,
died. So they
mm-hmm,
didn't have impressions. They didn't have. So obviously, once you don't have impressions, you cannot have clicks and you cannot have conversions, right?
mm-hmm,
So an impression is basically what it means that your ads are being shown in the search results. That's impression, right? So that's you don't pay for impressions,
mm-hmm,
but you want to, we want Google to show your ads, and you
mm-hmm,
want Google to think that your ad is relevant to whatever people are searching for, and your landing page is relevant as well,
mm-hmm,
because a lot of people don't realize that Google looks not only at your ads, but they actually look at your landing page.
mm-hmm,
And that's very, very often people don't realize that this is actually connected. So that's impression share. Then the next stat that you have to look at is the click-through rate, right?
mm-hmm,
So or CTR, because in Google Ads you have that, the acronym. So click-through rate is basically what is the percentage of people that saw your ad that clicked on your ad. So that's, if you have like 1%, click-through rate, you know that you have some work to do, meaning that your ads are not attractive enough for people to click. If you were in a 10-15%, that's good. Don't expect
Rookie.
like 90% of click-through rate. It's not going to happen.
Yeah,
So
for a rookie that's just starting and it's kind of messy, they get some impressions and they're they're very at the very beginning of their journey. They have nobody that would guide them like you, and they are just messing around. If they get 3%, would that be
Still,
okay?
still, yeah. You definitely want to be in the 10 to 15%, rate, because 3% means that only, 100 people saw your ad and only 3 people clicked.
Yeah.
That's not a lot, right? So
Yes.
either the keywords you are targeting are not related to the ad,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you have to review what keywords your ad is being displayed,
Mm-hmm.
for, because sometimes when you do like a broad match, meaning like Google tries to figure it out,
Yeah.
but or your ads are not attractive enough. Sometimes people are trying to be too clever with those ads, and sometimes when we are getting trying to be too clever or too creative, those ads are more confusing than actually straightforward and to the
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
So those are ads, they have to be, they have to basically attract people to click versus like being, I made this mistake, a few times, that I tried to make the text too creative,
Mhm.
and by being creative, it was really not optimized for clicks.
Yeah.
You know,
So it's three things. It's your landing page text, it's the ad text, and the keywords that you're targeting. Like it's a magic combination of those three.
so the keyword is basically what are the keywords or related things you want Google ads to be, your ads to be shown for. And
Mm-hmm.
there's another item, it's called search term. Search
Mm-hmm.
term is actually the text that people put in a search box in Google,
Okay.
right? So
Mm-hmm.
one keyword can lead to hundreds of search terms.
Mm.
So let's say,
Okay.
I'll give you an example. So let's say somebody searches for um, headshot best headshot photographers in Miami. I'll just
Mm-hmm.
this is what they enter in the search box. But
Mm-hmm.
your keyword that you want to target is maybe professional headshots Miami. That will be the keyword, right? And then Google will match that. Okay, if people search for best headshot photographers in Miami, they're gonna match this to your keyword because it's in the broad match, kind of like it will. But you say it will match also how to take best headshot photographer, how to take
Mm-hmm.
best headshots. It will match to that too. So when
Mm-hmm.
you review your search terms, you have when you see something like this, how to, you can add those search terms as negative keywords. So basically, Google will know, do not show my ads if somebody actually enters this in the search box,
Mm-hmm.
because you don't want to waste your money uh, displaying ads and people clicking on them when they search, how do I take the best headshots, for photos, right? You don't
Right.
want, this is no point displaying your ads. Or let's say if you're a wedding photographer and say like, if somebody searches cheapest wedding photographers in Miami, this is not something probably you want to target as well,
Yeah.
right? So I disable, like, for example, from all my campaigns, I disable, put a negative keywords, negative search term as free,
Mm-hmm.
cheap,
Yeah.
cheapest,
Yeah.
and how to. That's basically, those are the keywords that I automatically remove from all my ads, because I don't want to waste any money on this.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's
No.
search terms, and then there's also the keywords,
Yeah.
and then the keywords and the search terms, they should be related to your ads. So
Mm-hmm.
the ads should be related to that, and your
Mm-hmm.
landing page should be related to that as well,
So it's
right?
four
So
things.
you cannot have, let me give you an example. You cannot have your ads about headshot photo, professional headshots, and then your homepage, or your landing page, I'm sorry, your landing page will talk about business portraits.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That will actually reduce the quality of your ads, and
Mm-hmm.
then you end up paying a lot more, for the clicks, because Google thinks that they're not so, those the pages, the landing page is not really related to your ads.
Cool. So they get the impressions, people click, then they land on the landing page, and then what's the metric there? How do you have like tools? What is that you're looking at? Is it your CRM in the back where you're tracking the rest of it?
So actually, this is what's happened on the landing page is still being tracked by Google Ads. So that's
Okay.
what in Google Ads you have a concept of conversions.
Yeah.
So conversion, and then you have two types of conversions. There's the online conversion and offline conversion.
Okay.
Because when people sign up, let's say sign up on my landing page to get the 50% off, they fill out the form, and then once they fill up the form, I send this information to Google Ads that somebody filled up that form, and that's a conversion for me. And there's a certain value that I associate to that filling out the form, right? Obviously, they haven't booked me yet. There's no exchange of money, so the value of that conversion is a lot less than what my session fee is. Let's say a lead like this is worth to me $10. But then once somebody books the session with me, I send this information back to Google Ads, telling them, oh, this person actually that previously clicked on my ad, they booked the session, and that's the actual value of the session, how much they actually paid. So Google knows, like, oh, so not only that person just fill out the form, but now they actually are a client and they spend that much money. So I need to target similar people to increase the chances of actually you making money. So that's why the offline conversions are very important. They're much harder to set up in certain systems. Luckily, with my CRM, with the Vasho Digital, is very easy to actually send both online and offline conversions. So it's a very simple automation. So Google tracks all those conversions for me automatically, so that keep optimizing for me how to place what keywords to bid on, and then and also how to increase my budget based on the results that I see.
Yeah. So it's a try. I don't want to call it trial and error, but like this massaging takes some time, I would assume, right?
Yeah, so when you start a campaign, like the first 30 days are the important ones. When in the first 30 days, you want to be less aggressive, more aggressive in getting more clicks, and then you need to provide the data to Google to learn. Okay. And what's important that once you set up the conversions, that you have at least 30 conversions in the first 30 days. So it's like a 1 conversion per day. So that is the minimum of data that Google needs to start to make decision. Because if you provide only, like, let's say 5 or 10, that's not enough data for Google to learn. So if you don't have enough conversion, at the beginning, you may set up the campaign type to maximize clicks versus maximize conversions. So as you get the maximize for clicks and you get a lot more conversion, then you can, once you have the 30 conversion in the last 30 days, you can switch your campaign time from maximize clicks to maximize conversions.
Gotcha. So Google has visibility kind of into your system. I get it. The 2 types of conversions.
Well, Google doesn't. You have to set it up.
Yeah. Yes. Correct. And what else on top of it are you tracking? So like they fill out the form, some of them convert eventually, but like for you specifically, what else are you keeping track of in terms of like metrics, numbers, when they, whatever percentage of people fill out the form, we know that. And then do you track like appointments? I'm not sure how you sell. Do you just click and buy, or do you actually?
Yeah, so so for me, our pipeline is pretty straightforward, right? Somebody either books me right away, or fills out the form and then books me. I usually, with the leads, I give them a call to see if I can answer any questions or if they want to schedule right on the spot. But once they fill out, I nurture those leads with emails. So I send them, like, the first week I send them every day, then I kind of do every other day, and then every 2 weeks, every 30 days, etc. But they receive my emails for like 14 months after the sign up. But there's a lot of information not selling. So I send them a lot of information. And eventually, sometimes I had people that book my session on the 13th month, of being on my list. So it happens. It's not majority, but why? So basically, they receive an offer. I send them the emails. After 6 months, I give them a second time an offer, slightly better offer to even push the needle even more. And after this, no offers, basically just information. If they want to do it, they can do it. So that's, but what I track really is how many people, visited the page, my landing page, how many people fill out the form, and then how many people that fill out the form became my clients, right? And obviously, what is the bottom line at the end? Like how much money generated.
Yeah. I'll go back to the number that you said. You said 13 or 14 months. Normally 9 out of 10 photographers wait probably 13 minutes to do the follow-up, and you're saying 13, 14 months. I just wanted to reiterate because it's important to understand it's the reality, right, of the business. It takes time for leads to convert, right? And we give up. Very often it's hope. A lot of photographers use hope as their business strategy, but like you just have to allow enough room and time.
Yeah, I mean, the offer that I give them is valid only for 1 week. So that there is like some time constraint on this, so they have to act, within those. That's why I'm sending an email every day until the special is over. So you have to, I would say majority of the people convert in the first 7 days, but I don't scratch them off, after, because that mailing list, I still send them a newsletter. I still send them, like, let's say I'm be sending in January that my prices go up. So I send this to everybody that, my prices go up, and that can convert. Then I offer them for like Black Friday or holidays, I use that list also. If they want family purchase in the fall, we can, I use that list as well. Sometimes I'm like pushing, I just posted something on LinkedIn. Do you want to check it out? And give me, maybe your feedback. So that's, you can engage this list in so many different ways.
Your landing pages, this brings me back to that point. You're a little bit of a U-turn. So do you also have landing pages that are seasonal? If you're running those offers, do you also create landing pages for?
Yeah. So like, I mean, the seasonal is more like for like family, like mini sessions of family fall photos. Yeah, there'll be landing pages specifically for that.
Got it. Now, because we're already dipping into the system that's sort of behind running, sending out messages. You also you mentioned the campaign or the drip campaign, whatever they call it. What are you sending out? Are you sending out emails, texts? Is it voice messages? Is it all of it?
Email and text messages. Yeah.
Do you call your people at all?
When they sign up for the special, I call them right away. Yes.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Yeah. Because that was my question. Like, is there something that code is not handling? Like, is Yanek actually doing some work?
Well, I'm calling people. Either me or my studio manager. We call them. Every person that signs up, we call them.
Yeah. And that we enter the objection city.
And then one note to say, if you call them, if you decide to call people, because I know it takes time, but what's important that you call them like within the first 3 minutes after, they sign up, because that's when they still buy the computer or whatever. They're still in the mindset of doing it, right? If you call them after 20 minutes, they're maybe already doing something else. So, that shit may, kind of sell away already. So.
And to that point, there's a person that I know that hires a person, part of the staff, and her only responsibility is to call the lead immediately, like within 24 hours of whenever it comes in. It's that important, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I said objection city. So like those emails, when they go out, text messages, what do you like in your campaigns? Are you just talking about the offer, reiterating? Are you talking about you? Are you talking about other offers? What goes into?
No, so that campaign, it's So first one is obviously when they sign up, just here's the coupon code that you sign up for. So you can, and then with the direct click, to schedule the session. The second one is the social proofs. I do like more, what people were, like what are the feedback that people have. Third one is about us. Fourth one is about, some tips on how to prepare for the headshot session. I think and then the 2 days before, I said like, okay, you have 2 days before the special is over, the day off is over. But basically, it's a lot of I don't talk about the other stuff, right? It's all my, even the information is how to prepare for the session. What looks good, what doesn't look good. Like my links to my guide, to my guides, to check it out. How the session looks with us. And so the link is that, most of the emails, the link is just in the bottom. Hey, if you're ready to schedule, you can do it here. But most of the emails is basically the content, the value that they can benefit from. Even if they don't go with me, I want them to think of us as the experts in for headshots.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know the term for the pipeline, but it's essentially kind of moving. What is it? Moving a tag on how your client. It's the customer journey, right, within your world. So the pipeline you keep in that system, all the notifications are within that system. What am I missing within the system that's important that I'm not mentioning? Like, what's on your mind?
So like automations, so the automations are the key, right? So for example, if somebody books me, they get out of this, this email drip right away, right? So I don't want to keep sending those emails if they already booked me, right? Then there's a sequence of, once they book me, to inform them, that this is the guides, these are how to get to my studio, etc. Then after the session, they receive 2 reminders about leaving us a review. And then another one after a few weeks, to basically make a recommendation if they know anybody that would benefit from the headshot as well. So those are automations. This is just for individual sessions, but and also if somebody needs to what
about messaging in terms of consolidating your maybe emails or like Facebook messages, or does that also handle that or no?
Yeah. So basically, it's all together in one inbox. So yeah, all the text messages, emails, is all together. I put notes in my CRM. I mean, like, it's a standard CRM, and then all my funnels, my landing pages are all in the system. And I also have 2 versions of the landing pages, so I see which one performs better. But the main one is really the emails, the campaigns, the automation, and automation. I mean, I synchronize between tools, between like Vasho Digital and the other tools, so that's pretty strict. Like I still use Acuity for scheduling of the session, so there's a information exchange there. But even QR codes, I create all the QR codes, within the tool. The reputation of how many reminders about Google reviews I sent, how many I got back, what's the growth of my reviews. So the last year, that I've been using, I grew a lot. I think last year alone, I think I got over 100 reviews in 1 year or so.
The longer you talk, the more I think, like, how big is your team? Is it just you and Sasha? Do you have like a virtual assistant working for you, or is
no? I just have a part-time studio manager. She works 10 hours a week. Yeah.
Gotcha. All right, let's go into the next section. Almost in the interview is like a quick fire. You don't really have to think much. It's more of like a quick response. I ask you some questions, and most of them are yes and no. If we need to stop somewhere, we'll stop somewhere. But quick responses. Ready?
Yep.
Okay. Somebody for a newbie, somebody starting out, would you say go into ads, fail, spend some money, and like build it that way, or just organic at the very beginning?
I would say both, but focus first on Google Ads, because you're not going to see the organic results for a while.
Gotcha. If Yanek has $6,000 in hand, is he going, and it's time for vacation, is he going Caribbean Islands, or is he traveling to Poland?
Probably mountains.
Got it. Got it. One tool that you definitely cannot live without.
Ooh, that's a important. Can laptop be a tool?
Could be definitely. But like, from your software packages, is it that CRM that's so magical, or is there something else?
I mean, it's definitely the core of everything, right? I use a lot of other tools. It's a combination. There's certain tools that do different certain things, but the CRM, the Vasho Digital, definitely is the center. That's where all the information stays, and it's what I spend every day the most time. The other ones are just more like single task automations, but the core is the CRM system. Yeah.
Is there one metric you look at every day after you wake up or when you have your first coffee?
There's the concept of pipelines. So basically, where in which phase my leads are, and that's kind of drives who do we call, who do we reach out, and where they are. Like whether they're warm lead already. Do we need to follow up? So basically, I see where the people are through the pipeline, and that's kind of tells me who I need to contact today.
Makes sense. I think in one of your interviews, I saw a replica of Porsche 911 in the back, or like a BMW motorcycle.
What's you can see my BMW motorcycle there.
Yeah. Do you already? Yeah, there is like a white one or something.
Yeah, and then I think here it is. Here it is, my Porsche.
Here it is. Is this why we're making money? What's the ultimate goal? Like, are we building a new house? Are we buying an exotic car? Are we just building for the sake of building? Or
we live in a dream house, so no more, not moving anymore. Having a 911 maybe before I retire will be fantastic, but I think my overall goal is to build the wealth, of the family. I'm not a big spender. So for me, it's more about, if possible, to build like a generation wealth, so that, we make it a little bit easier for the kiddos than it was for us.
Yeah, I imagine most of your time goes into business, but like, is there anything you do outside of business? What do you do for fun?
Well, a lot. So last night I played soccer. So I'm in the soccer league. So I play soccer, at least once a week.
Yeah.
And kids take a lot of our time now, but they have activities as well. But we love hiking. We have a puppy, 6 months old, the Weimaraner. So that keeps, so we go always for long walks. But I love mountains. I love hiking in the mountains. My wife loves, Sasha loves the beach, so sometimes I have to compromise and go to the beach. I like to look at the ocean from a distance. I just don't like the sand. So,
I know you're back. I think you're a fan of Legia Warszawa, but you have a tattoo somewhere that reminds me more of Arka Gdynia or like Pogoń Szczecin. What's the deal with it?
1 second. Here it is. So this is my. If I can do it this way, as you like this way. Here, 1 second.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me help you. There you go.
This is our wedding logo. So me and Sasha, we met sailing. So that's why it's the anchor, and you can see in the center here, right here. There's the Eiffel Tower in my tattoo.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So we actually got engaged in Paris. So that's why we kind of got a logo of our wedding of an anchor with Eiffel Tower built into it.
Dude, you just raised the bar for 85% of the husbands out there. Makes sense. Nikon, Canon, Sony, Hasselblad, Leica?
I primarily Canon. I had Sony cameras in the past. But I saw them. I just didn't feel them. Like ergonomically, they ergonomically didn't feel right for me. But they're great cameras. I never shot with Nikon, so I know they're great cameras as well. But I've been shooting with Canon for I don't know, for the last 30 years. And then I had a Pentax at some point, the 645, I think 645Z. That's a medium format Pentax. Fantastic. I mean, the files were just absolutely gorgeous. The only problem with that camera was the autofocusing was bad. I mean, it was slow, and the focusing points were only in the center.
Okay.
So there was no but otherwise it was just fantastic. I mean, I always love the feel of the medium format. So last year I got the Hasselblad X2D, and those
are the black and whites.
Say again.
Those are the black and whites you're doing, right? On your, sometimes I see black and whites.
Yeah. So when I photograph with the Hasselblad at an event, I do. I feel like, I love black and white, so why not do black and white? So I do. But like Sasha photographs all the family sessions with the Hasselblad.
Mhm.
And I do quite a bit, like, when I go like editorial sessions on location, I actually do that on with the Hasselblad as well. The files are just like butter. I mean, it's like so smooth, and the color tones are so good.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's definitely one of my favorite cameras that I shoot with. And I'm tempted maybe this year to get the X2D2,
Mhm.
because they improved the autofocusing even more on that camera. It's pretty good already, but they kind of improve it even more. So maybe
Mhm.
if I get good money out of for this camera, I may upgrade it,
Yeah.
to the X2D2. Those, I don't know, if you ever shot with medium formats, either you don't care or you fall in love with it.
I
Uh,
never did, and I don't think I'm willing to try because this
the
sounds
files
expensive.
are just so gorgeous. I mean, if the details, you can zoom in to like people's eyes, and it's just skin, and just it looks nice and detailed. Like you can see like the skin
Yeah.
really looks.
Yeah.
And then I think the Hasselblad has one of the best color science of all the
Mhm.
cameras.
Mhm.
The colors look so good,
Yeah.
in any situation. They just look like true to life.
Mhm.
Like if you look at the scene and you take a photo, and it's like, with Canon cameras, you have to do some tweaking to make it look like you want it to look. With Hasselblad, I barely have to, change the colors. I mean, it's basically how it is. It's just beautiful, and I love it.
Is 45 too late to start business, to start photography?
No, I mean, I'm older, so
How old are you? I'm 49. How old are you?
I'm 53.
Oh, okay, so close enough.
Yeah.
My last quick. I don't know if this is going to be a quick one, but like Westcott, how did you end up? How does one end up with with a Westcott, like as a Westcott ambassador?
Actually, this is a very good question. Somebody reached out, one of like a very known photographer reached out to me this week about, I said, how do you become a West Coast photographer? Um, I don't know whether it's for everybody, the same path.
Mhm.
I've been using Westcott for many years,
Mhm.
and I was just, tagging them, here and there on Instagram, and I talked to them. And then at some point, they basically invited me, hey, it will be, honored to have you as our top pro. Would you be interested? I was like, heck yeah. So that's how I became the Westcott top pro. So
Nice.
I'm not like, maybe I'm not a typical, because I'm not like an influencer. I don't,
Yeah.
I posted in my group like recently. It's like, hey, I don't really push the affiliate sales or anything like that.
Mhm.
But sometimes, for Westcott, obviously it matters, like to bring me to like to,
Yeah.
conferences, or even like sponsor like any of the webinars, if they see that this is actually translate to some sales. So if you, as I told, my in my Facebook group, if you guys want to see me at other places, just if you decide to buy Westcott, you can use my code. It's
There you go.
like the affiliate money. It's more of a, kind of, cherry on the, the cake, versus any like, it's not like I'm gonna make my living like this,
Yeah.
but at least let's send some feedback, back to Westcott, that yeah, actually, people listened, and kind of, find what I try to share usable, and kind of helpful.
As we're closing this down, I actually never did this with anybody else, but I'm going to do it with you. Um, Hormozy has a quote: "The work works on you more than you work on it." Is it just about the hustle? Like, is it part of the success? Because a lot of people think that it's like, I don't know, he got lucky, overnight success thing, or but it's like, is consistency the secret? Like, does discipline the secret in your case?
Well, let me put for for sure, for us was not nothing was overnight,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and you know it's a lot of work, and consistently work, and not be discouraged. And yeah, and one thing that I learned over time, and actually when I went to Alex Hormozy workshop, is to work on things that really matter.
Mm-hmm.
Don't just stay busy just because it's easy to stay busy and pretend you work, and just do things, but focus on really on things that push the needle. and then like I think he says like to spend the first half a day on marketing yourself. You like put yourself in front of people, and then the rest of the day you can focus on the rest of the business.
Yeah. No, Hormozy lives in a different dimension. But another quote that I had for you was, I think this is by James Clear. He wrote the Habit book, but he says, "You don't rise, you don't rise to your goals. You fall to your systems, or to the level of systems you have in place." I mean, you apparently have those systems in place. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, the systems allow us to really, again, the systems allow us to focus on things that really matter versus doing those things over and over the same things, right?
Yeah.
That's again, like the thing, like don't just be busy for the sake of being busy, because if you have to do the same thing 10 times, a day or 10 times per week, think about how is there any way that you can make this automated without losing the way it's done, but a way where there's a tool for this, or any maybe even like doing a VA. If this is the way to do it, just hire a VA to do it, so you can focus on actually growing the business and not doing the tedious things that you do every day.
Yeah. And last one was by Ali Abdal, the famous YouTuber. He says, "Prolific beats perfect." Apparently, you have to get messy when you're starting. It's not perfect. A lot of people are overthinking, or they think they need to be ready, or whatever that means. When you started with like headshots for the first time, was that messy, or did you guys overthink?
I look back at stuff, I was like, oh Jesus, that was pretty bad. It's like I was. I knew Peter. I'm sure you've heard of Peter Hurley, right? So I'm his associate now, but I mean, like I've known Peter for a very long time before I even was doing headshots. He actually had workshops in my studio back in Chicago before I even I was doing any headshots, and I was like, oh, how hard it can be to do a headshot? I'm a wedding photographer. I can do a lot more than just a headshot, right? It's like how hard can it be? Until I started to try to do headshots, I'm like, oh shoot, that I really suck at this. So that's made me realize that there's so much, there's like a very subtle art to headshot photography that I learned from Peter, and then definitely Peter's one of the biggest components of me being successful as a headshot photographer, because he taught me how to be consistent with my style. How to have a consistent portfolio and how to at a decent level, and then that was like the foundation, and then the business was on top of it, because if your work sucks, focus first of having decent work before you really start to market yourself, right? Because if you start to spend money on marketing yourself and your work still is not up to par, that may not be the best decision. So first, you don't have to be perfect, because obviously perfection is always the killer of productivity. But be at a certain level. Get your portfolio reviewed by somebody. Like that's what the big value of Headshot Crew is, that people review each other work and they provide good feedback. So get yourself at a good level, and once it's at a decent level, then you start to like, okay, I'm here and now I can market it. Because sometimes people reach out to me, it's like with Google Ads. And it's as brutal as it is. Sometimes I say, like, you know what? This is not a right fit. You need to really step up your photography game before you start to do it, because just comparing your work to other photographers in your market, you're going to lose, because your work is not up to par. So there's no point convincing that you are the right person if your work doesn't speak. So we have to do you have to do some legwork there before you start spending money on marketing.
Of course, and the thing is, and this you kind of answered my last question, because it's like, what do I do to become Yaneck Wasiek, right? So let's say I showed up at your doorstep and said, hey, I have maybe $3,000 or $4,000 to spend, right? What would your advice be? Obviously not Google Ads, but it's like, what would you do? Would you just I don't know, rent camera, buy like a used one on eBay, and then maybe a little bit of ads?
You don't have to have expensive gear. decent. I mean, like the 85 lens from Canon, the 1.2 is expensive, but the 1.4, 1.8 lenses are super cheap. You can get them for like $500 or $600, those lenses. And then, Canon has such a, decently priced cameras now, that full frames that you can buy, like, and then just some couple of strobes, and just basically master that lighting, and then make it consistent. Right? Don't I mean, experiment, but don't experiment in your portfolio. Your portfolio should be very tight and consistent.
Yeah, makes sense. Last thing, Yanek, Vasho Digital. So for somebody like me, I'm stumbling. I have no idea what I'm doing with ads. You mentioned the Vasho Digital. Let me just show something on the screen here. So is this the website? Is this for somebody was interested, or maybe they're looking for help? Is this the place to go?
Yeah. So Vasho Digital, you can sign up. So basically, when you sign up, you sign up for the CRM and all the other features. But beside that, I shared all my automations, all my landing pages, and everything with you, so that you can just change the photos, maybe slightly change the text, but the whole organization is there. Just to be clear, Vasho Digital will not help you with Google Ads. It will help you to track it, right? So if you need help with Google Ads, what I offer is that I review we'll review what each person does, and then I set up the Google Ads for somebody. I ran it and monitor it for a month, and after a month they can take over. I show them everything that was done. They can take over and run it themselves, or they can, for like reduced fee, just let me maintain the ads, and they just they can run with me. But that's totally up to them. So the Vasho Digital is the tool, the CRM, and that help. That it's not this. It doesn't help only with Google Ads. It's a lot more, obviously, because you can host your website there, your landing pages and everything else. And then Google Ads is basically just advertisement platform.
Yeah. And then you mentioned you were kind enough to share a slide deck. You actually have it somewhere here. I'll post the link in the description of the video. But this is the stuff that you shared with photographers at Imaging USA. So that's going to be available for anybody interested. And then obviously, if you need a headshot, you know where to go. Vasho Faces. Yeah. That's where they can find you. Yanek, I took so much of your time. I really appreciate it. This was super valuable, dude. Thanks for helping photographers and the world in general.
Always my pleasure. Thank you so much, Martin, for having me, and such a pleasure to be, on your podcast.
Yeah, and if I'm ever in Laguna Beach, I'm stopping by your studio.
Wonderful. Yeah, I'm like a little bit north of Laguna, and then I live a little bit south of Laguna. But yeah, I mean, like Laguna's in between.
I hope we run into each other. Yanek, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.